Hello and welcome back to another episode. On today's episode, we chat with my longtime friend Chris Pap. Chris Pap owns and operates Kafe Meze, a Greek restaurant in the suburbs. His family has operated Kafe Meze for over 20 years. Join me today as we go through the insights of what it's like to run a family restaurant, how it got started, the perils, the peaks, how Chris manages his time between the restaurant and his family and his children. We also talk about their expansion into opening their own florist and it taking over a boomer business, and we discuss the economics around that. And we give you some insights into the restaurant world and some tips if you wanted to open your own one. So sit back, enjoy today's episode, and I hope you enjoy. Mr. Papadopoulos, the king of Kafe Meze, thank you for coming in.
Yep, no problem.
So I just wanted to run through the story of your restaurant, Kafe Meze. Maybe give us a little bit of a rundown of what it is, where you are, and what your vibe is.
Okay, well, little Greek restaurant, casual dining. So my dad started the business back in 2000 in West End. And at that stage, we were probably one of the, only 3 real Greek restaurants around at that time. And as I was working there, I was doing all the work. I started off as a dishie, doing all that sort of stuff. Got to the kitchen, started doing some cooking. And it's funny because he kind of forced it on me. I was still in high school, man. I'm still studying, and he's like, here's take the tongs. I'm like, oh, okay. And I started to learn. First thing I cooked was a calamari. It was stressful, man, but I got through it, and now I have my own little business, and we're over in Graceville. So it's still called Kafe Meze, but Kafe Meze Graceville. And 7 years I've been there now. And just doing my thing, man. I mean, same food that Dad started with. We've implemented a few different things, a few other, types of food and stuff like that. But it's all Greek. It's all Greek stuff. So, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, sick. Yeah, cool. There's a few stuff I want to go through over there, like your menu and stuff like that. So 2024 years now.
24 years since we opened the first one.
Which is impressive. Yeah.
Well, yeah, family-run business. We kept it going. Like, it's pretty big, man. Like, to have a business for 24 years, especially in the food industry.
Yeah, 100%.
It's something that we're proud about.
Yeah.
So as a family.
Well, that's what I said to you when you were like a bit hesitant to come on. I was like, no, owning a restaurant for 24 years is insane. Like, it's very impressive.
Yeah, thanks.
It's like, I think people, it's
nice to hear that.
Yeah. Well, I think what is it? Like, most businesses close within the first year or something.
Well, yeah, I think they say that. Well, it was when I started up 7 years ago. It was like, you got to make 3 years. That if you can make 3 years, you can kind of push on. That's what they say.
Yeah.
In the industry. So yeah, I think maybe if you're not making a year,
maybe
it's not for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you know? So obviously, your dad started at 2000 West End. Was that on the Five Ways? Was that your OG one?
Yes. So that was
like the corner.
Yeah, where was it? What street? Boundary and Browning Street in West End. The 5 Ways there.
Yeah. That was your first one.
That was the first one.
Right on the
corner.
School.
High school.
Yeah. Do you know if your dad had any, how did he get that particular restaurant started? Did he have any objections coming up? Like, how did he build that community to begin with?
Well, West End has a big community, or a Greek community.
Yeah.
Like, down the road from where the restaurant was is the Greek church, is the Greek club. In the other direction towards Vulture Street, there's another place called the Cafe Neo, where Dad started off when he first came to Australia. Coffees, just Greeks went in there. It was just Greek food, Greek coffee, and doing their own thing there. It was like a little group of them. Every day, the same guys would rock up, drink the same coffee, have the same sweet. You know what they're doing, just hanging out together. And then I suppose Dad just wanted more, And I was there with him there, and I was serving the coffees to the Greek guys and all that sort of stuff. And what happened was, one of his mates there, they became business partners, and he said, "Look, I want to open a restaurant." He said, "Okay, I'll help you out." And so they were business partners together for about, I think we bought him out about 7 years into the initial restaurant, so the one on Boundary and Browning Street. And so we owned it from there, but he helped us and funded us, helped us together to do it. He was Greek as well.
Yeah.
So he knew that Dad knew what he was doing, because he was going to see Dad at the Cafe Neo, cooking and doing the job. Brought him out there and took over. And then from that stage, I think it was about 8 years, we were on the corner there. We decided to make a move. We needed a bit more space. The place behind us was rented, and we had a little room where we had extra fridges and freezers for stock, but there was another room, a shop behind us that we really wanted, but they wouldn't budge. So I was just stuck on that corner, and we couldn't really grow too much. So then we decided to go Melbourne Street. Do you remember Melbourne Street?
Is that next to Three Monkeys?
No.
Before. Oh, yeah. Before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only went to that one a couple of times. Melbourne
So
Street.
that was a big step.
Yeah.
So from a little place that we had, the capacity was 3 times. You know, like it was had a big bar and a big kitchen, and it was a big step for us because, you know, we maybe didn't know what to do there. You know what I mean? We made it work for a while and it was fine, but what happened was the economic hit came, man, at that time. And it was just tough, really tough. So I think we got out of the lease somehow. Dad was in control at that time with Mum.
Because you were a bit too young then, eh?
I was a bit young. I was working, but I wasn't doing that sort of stuff just yet.
Yeah.
And then we said, look, let's just make a move. We didn't want to move far. We wanted to make it a quick move because, you know, we had the clientele coming in already and we didn't want to make it a big switch up and change everything. So it happened within like 3 days and we said, look, thank you.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's quick.
We're not stuffing around. We're going to continue business. You know how to run a business easily. We just got to get into a place. So we went to Molliston Street next to the Three Monkeys, and we were there for. You remember how long we were there for now?
It was a long time.
It would be
because you were there for like the first batch of floods.
Yeah, you came and helped me out.
Yeah.
I remember that actually. It was a good time. It wasn't a good time.
I mean, it was
You guys helped.
It was a good time when your friends like shoveling mud and dirt, like, you know, just talking shit and stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously not fun actually flooding. At least your actual restaurant didn't get flooded. It was just underneath.
So it was risen. It was kind of high. So everything underneath got flooded. So the cold room took some damage, but the rest of it was just space. So it didn't go up the steps and cause any problem to the actual restaurant, which was good.
Yeah.
But everyone stopped business because it was bloody water everywhere, man.
West End was closed. Yeah.
Takeaways, you couldn't do anything.
Brisbane was closed, basically.
Closed, yeah, that's right. So it made it tough then. And again, I think the government helped out a little bit here and there and little things. You know?
Yeah.
But we got through that as well. So, you know, and we keep getting through these little hurdles, which is really good. Just shows that what we have is something that we can hold on to and continue on with it. And then I made the decision and Dad made a decision, look, why don't we get a smaller place too on the side? And we kept driving past on our avenue. We're in Graceville. And I just saw this little shop, and it used to be a salon.
Like a hair salon?
Hair salon. And it had walls and doors and everything. And we went in and just asked a question, said, look, small restaurant, is it possible? And the landlord said, look, it's something you can do, but you guys can fix it up. And I said, obviously. We'll do all the job, and did it all, man. And
did you get good incentives at that one?
Not really. Not really.
Yeah.
No.
Can't win them all.
Sometimes
Sometimes you get lucky.
Well, when there was, during COVID, are you talking about COVID now? Or are you just
no, I'm talking about the initial fit out. Like, did the landlord give you? No.
They gave us 3 months.
Rent
we asked
free,
for 3 months
yeah.
on the rent free on the lease because, look, we had to build a kitchen. We need some time to do it. A lot of the work was done by, I did a lot of work myself with mates and my dad's mates.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we had to get the big guns in to put in the canopies and all the steel walls.
Kitchen and shit, yeah.
Kitchen has to be at a certain standard, city council.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to pay $2,500 for this floor that has to be up to, you know, standard.
Yeah.
Otherwise you can't open. Just things like that. And it was things that I didn't know either because I haven't done a kitchen from scratch.
You never built one,
We've walked in, they've had everything kind of in place and we've put our own things where we want. So it's a little bit of a shock when I started spending all this money.
Yeah.
Like, what? What? What's going on here? And then as we grew in the place as well, you know, I had to get a bit more space, like a bit more stuff to put my space, like my stuff, like my stock. So I got a cold room out the back, hire that thing. They had to drive that in through the next door neighbour's house in a big truck, crane it in over the fence, drop it down. I was like, jeez, man.
Why couldn't they just go through the car park there?
Because it's no space. It had to be a big truck. It had like a 4x4 cold room. And where the car park is to where my restaurant is, the crane it wouldn't reach that far.
Yeah, right.
So they had to go through next door and drive the truck in there and whatever. We got lucky, man. I can't, the day that thing has to come out, I'm dreading it, man.
Someone else's problem. Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. Hopefully
you just find a restaurant to take over if you ever move locations.
Yeah, let them do this.
Keep
you
the
can have the cold room.
Yeah.
Here you go.
It's on me.
Yeah. So that's a difficult time. But yeah, so just little things like that. But we got there. All the painting, all that sort of stuff was done by me. Easy fixes, you know. And we did have a bit of a problem initially because the builder that we had kind of fell through. He wasn't efficient enough. You know, we were telling him, look, we're on a schedule here, mate. I want to open on this date. You're here and you've got a couple of months to get this done. I'm not seeing much going on. I need to see some things happening here, buddy. You know, we've given you some money here. So it was a bit of a problem with that guy. He got some of the work done, and then we just said, look, I've had enough. And I went and confronted him one day because he was on a work site. He was doing his other bloody job somewhere. And I went and confronted him and said, look, what's going on? Are you doing this or not? And he basically said no more. I said, okay, that's it. Enough with you, man. Went to a builder. Got a builder through, who we get it through? A friend of Dad's. Greeks, mate.
Classic.
Always,
The Greek economy.
but he was a licensed builder and he was very well known. So he came in and said, yeah, look, mate, you need to do that. You need to do that. I'll put you on a payment plan. This and that. I said, oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Stress.
Yeah.
A little bit. Because, you know, I wanted to be open at this date. I've said this date and I want to stick to this date, which I believe was 24th of May. If I can remember correctly. And then he came in, did the things. He said, look, I reckon knock out this here, create a little bit of space there. So he gave us a little bit instruction as well on what to do. So it worked out really well with that guy. And then, got in there, just started. We knew what to do from day one, like I said. You know, we've done it all. We've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
And now, just going along, man.
Who taught your dad? Did the original business partner teach your dad? Like your dad obviously was already kind of cooking at the other place.
Yeah.
So that's where he learned how to do that.
Yep.
But did the other guy, what about, like, did your dad know business?
Not business, no.
Yeah, so the other guy taught the business partner taught your dad.
So what happened, my mum was really involved with that sort of stuff. She was good at that sort of stuff, and just balancing things and doing this and doing all. She did all that paperwork behind the doors. Kind of work was mum. In front of it was dad. He was running the shop like that.
Yeah.
So initially, dad was in Greece and he's a maitre d' for years in Greece. Some of the big restaurants there on the islands, and having fun, I guess.
Yeah.
But he knew what he was doing from there. In terms of cooking, when we started the restaurant back in 2000 in West End, we had 2 chefs, Greek chefs. And with Dad, because Dad had some ideas that he would put forward him, and he said, I want it simple. You know, I don't need all this fancy stuff. I want it Greek style. You go to the Greek islands, I want the food like that. You know, I don't need all this leaves and you don't need that. He was very strong about that. And I said, I like that because it's more traditional, man. I can understand there's restaurants like that like to do
like when
that,
you go to your Greekers and stuff, like you find down in Greek, it's different menu to yours.
And in Greece they have that as well, of course. But we wanted to do that stuff because we knew that stuff. You know, and we had a couple of chefs. They worked with us for a few years and whatever, and one of them moved on. The other one stayed on as well, and we learned things through them. But that's basically how I learned, and Dad started to learn as well. Really, you know, the other stuff other than the stuff that he already knew. So
yeah. Do you think because you went to the restaurant obviously in high school? Where you kind of you're like, okay, you be chef now.
It's your turn.
But
it's Tuesday now.
Yeah.
You've got to give me some notice, man.
But what you obviously learn is like work ethic from a young age, like hard work, grinding, the value of business and all that sort of stuff. Do you think, or do you get any staff that come in? Is that a bit of a lost art these days, do you reckon?
Well,
like that hard work, like...
Yes. I hate to say it, but yes.
Yeah.
Dad instilled it at the beginning. If you're going to run a business, you need to know everything about the business. You need to know how to make a coffee. Even if you don't know how to make coffee, learn to make coffee. You need to know how to do the books. Even though he didn't know Mum at the time was doing it, you need to learn how to do this. So you needed to cover... You need to know everything, because if your main chef goes and you got no one else there and he says, look, I'm done, I don't want to do this anymore, and you got to be in there, man. You got to do it. So it's easy for me because I cook most of the time. I do have my other chef there now, but I was always, I never worried about that sort of stuff, being the work is worrying me too much, because I knew I could do it and I had to fill the gap if I had to.
Yeah.
But I have seen it, man. It's hit and miss.
Yeah.
You get the ones that really want to come in and do that extra bit of work and help the business grow, and you get the ones that just come in, clock on, clock off, and it's like, it's just a mix of people. You do your best to pick who you want there. At the moment, I have a good
you have a good crew.
Good little crew at the moment. You know, there's a lady there, I call her Mama, Mama, right?
Yeah.
She was working there before I was working, basically at the restaurants, man. She was working with Dad. So she's a 70-year-old lady now from Thailand. And I don't think she's missed a day.
That's hard work. That's the
hard
ethic.
work.
Yeah.
you know, I'm a little bit lenient with her with time and stuff. You can come now and do this, but she just gets the work done. I don't have to do anything. She just knows what to do. I don't have to say anything. Cleans the bins. I don't ask her to do it. She does it. She puts that extra effort in for things like that. Just cares about the place a bit, which is nice. And then, like I said, Margie now, I'm sponsoring Margie. So she's from the Philippines. She wants to she's got her family here. She wants to live here, man. You know, it's a nicer lifestyle. She has a young kid. He's great mates with my little guy. And it's a good little thing we have going on now. So at the moment I had to get my nomination certificate basically so I could nominate her. And then there was just the criteria they asked for was just everything. Yeah. Financials, how long she's working here for. You got to put her on this. She has to do all this training, all these certificates. Finally, we got it done. So it's been about 6 weeks now since Home Affairs, we've put all the information through. And we haven't got a response yet. Yeah. So we're all kind of, we're all like, hang on, is she going to stay or is she going to go? Because it's a big change, man. She's been working with me for 4 years and cooking, and she's known by everyone there. She's a great little girl, fantastic worker. And it could all just change. If she doesn't get a residency. You know what I mean? So that's...
Oh, so it's her visa up or whatever.
Well, she's going for I can't remember the visa, man. There's so many numbers.
Yeah, there's so many different ones.
4, 5, 7. She keeps saying them to me. I'm like, I gotta go. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's got a lawyer in place, and that's the first step you need to do if you want to really give this a go. Yeah, I'm a resident here. But yeah, that's where we're at, man.
That's going to be obviously beneficial for you in the long run. Like, you obviously sponsor her, bit of paperwork and stuff now, but now you've got an employee that's been there for 4 or 5 years and she'll be there for who knows how long. Yeah, like she could become the new mama. Where that's the plan, man. And I think that obviously speaks volumes about how you operate, but B, getting employees getting rewarded for hard work. You know, she's done everything right by you, gone the extra mile. She's a great employee. Everybody loves her. So of course you want to keep her. Yeah. You know, and then the trade-off is well, I want to keep you, or you have to sponsor me. I need a visa. All right, deal. That's... And you're kind of rewarding her because that's a big deal for
said it to her. I even said it to her. It was about a year and a half in. I said, look, what are you doing? What are you doing here? What's your plan? She's like, I like to stay here. I'm on this visa for now. I've done my certificate here and this. I want to try and progress. I said, okay, look, it's something that we can look at in the future. At that time, I said, I brought it up with my wife, Em, and I said, look, I think I want to do this because I don't want to lose her.
You don't lose her, yeah.
She's good and she cares. And she wants to bring her family here and she wants to live a nice life here compared to the Philippines, which is a little bit different, obviously. So, I hope it all works for her, man, because we've done our part, as much as we can possibly do. It's just up to...
whatever the bureaucrats.
And it's on edge at the moment because, with all the stuff that's going on, every time they bring immigrants up, I'm like, I don't want to listen to this.
There's a bit of political tension.
There is, and it's like the timing is just any other time,
2 years ago, they'd be like, done. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so your dishes or menu are traditionally Greek. Yeah. How, what's the best way to word it? Obviously, the food industry changes, right? What people want in terms of dishes and stuff like that. Do you have the urge to try and change dishes or keep up with trends, or do you kind of stay a little bit stubborn and be like, no, we're sticking to this traditional?
Definitely.
Sticking to the traditional?
Man, because
have you altered it much since the OG days?
We take things in and out at different times. So I've just updated the menu now, taken a few things off the menu. For instance, a few of the wines that are on there, taking them off and things just make little changes. But I remember saying to Jazz years ago, I said, when I want to do this, I said, I just want to be that Indian restaurant, for instance, that's down the road. He's been there for years and you know what he's got. You know what you like. And you know how much it costs. You don't have to...
Yeah.
It's not one of those night out things. It's like, let's do Greek tonight. We'll get a meat Meze platter for 2.
Yeah. It's like Chinese. Easy. You get sweet and sour pork, you get honey chicken, you get your rice, and you get the same dishes.
That's all I want to do is just be that place that people go, let's do Greek, just like that, down the road.
Well, that's what I do every time I come to yours. It's like a seafood Meze and a meat Meze.
Yeah, you know what you want.
2 platters, ticks all the boxes. Sign me up.
Yeah, you know how many people do that, man? That's why
Yeah.
they bring their own bottle of wine, which is fine because I allow BYO.
Yeah, you
charge a little bit for
corkage or whatever.
$2.50, man.
Oh, it's cheap.
I got to charge something.
Yeah, of course.
I'm paying for a liquor license.
You got to pay for the license.
You got to help me out a little bit, guys.
Yeah.
And plus, my wines are all imported from Greece, man. So they're not cheap wines.
Yeah.
And they're not wines you can find at Dan Murphy's. You know, these are wines imported. I don't think there's many restaurants in Brisbane that'll have the wines that I have. So we've got that as well, but you know, you've got to charge a little bit more for that.
Of course.
It's and the wet tax went up insanely. You know, all that sort of stuff's gone up. So we got to play, but BYO is a good thing as well because people love to bring their own bottle, man.
Yeah, and they're going to spend $100 in food. So
yeah, bring $10 bottle of wine. That's all I want to drink tonight.
Yeah,
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you take much consideration from customer feedback around the menu? Like, maybe say you took the wines out, and you obviously changed wines, or you know, and then if a heap of people like bring that wine back, do you go, all right, listen to the people?
Sometimes,
depending on what it is.
Yeah, we haven't had a lot of it, to be honest, because our menu is really, it's a big menu, man. You know what it's like. It's a big bloody menu. Like there's a lot on there. So we're covering a lot of the stuff that I know people already like. And Dad was always like that too. Have a big menu.
Yeah.
Have options. So you go to Greece, you see the menus, and there's just stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
I kind of always kept that as well. I like that in a way.
Yeah, because like you do have a lot of options, but a lot of the food is crossover. It's like you have the meat meze, or you can choose those meats individually. Yeah, seafood meze, or you choose. So you're not really adding more items in the kitchen.
No, that's right. So the costs are still sort of staying the same. You know, I'm not going to get extra stuff at different times of the year to make these dishes. It's all kind of always there. So that I like that. I've always liked that, man. Yes, I'm not going to change that.
All right, so I want to shift gears a little bit, maybe talk more so about like operationally / owner life, like, you know, the nitty gritty of what it actually is like to run a restaurant.
Yep.
Because I think a lot of people, you know, people want to fantasize about owning a restaurant, like, oh, I'll do this and this and this and this, but the reality can be long hours, stressful as fuck, all that sort of jazz. So just
it's all that stuff, man.
Yeah. So maybe first of all, run us through like what's an average day for you?
Well, look, it's not too bad for me. We've got the family, so we'll wake up at 6 or 7 a.m. in the morning, get the kids organised, do the breakfast, blah blah blah, do the drop-offs. The kids are at school by 9. So from that point, I'll have a few things I need to do. Depending on the day, I'll go pick up some stock. I'll go do some other things for the restaurant, clean it up. I usually get to the we don't open till 11:30, so we do 11:30 till 2, and I'm happy to keep the place open when we're busy because sometimes we get quite busy and we stay open till 2. I'm not going to push people out, man. It's just the kitchen will close at 2 for sure, and then 5 to 9. But yeah, so my days don't really start till after I drop Callie off at school. I get some stuff done. I get to the restaurant around 10:30, just to get some prep done. Just get the grill open, get the chairs out, make it neat for people to come in, get myself organised. And I work a lot of it, man. So I work most lunches because I like working. I don't know what I'd do if I didn't work.
Yeah.
Restaurant, what am I going to do? Pay someone to do it and then sit at home?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense, you know what I mean? So, but I'll work, do lunch. After that, pick up the little man about 3 o'clock from school and look after him for a while. And then I'll have to be back at work by, I usually leave about 4. Again, go to Coles, Woolies, or even though I don't want to, they're the closest ones.
Yeah.
Pick up the stuff we need for the restaurant. If there's a few milks and things or Cokes and stuff, we do that sort of stuff and get there a bit earlier, prep the place, get it open, get it on everything going by 5.
Yeah.
You know? So that's usually the day. But day-to-day things change. You know what I mean? It just depends on what I need to do, man.
Yeah.
A lot of the stock is ordered throughout the week at different times. So I only order when I need to order, and I only order enough
for the week. Yeah.
My dad was like that too. Buys everything in bulk, and it's sitting there, and we're not turning it over that week. We turn it over time.
Yeah.
You're spending the money to turn that over. To get that stuff. You want to make that money back straight away rather than have it sitting there and you're not giving it away. So I'm more like, just keep moving things when we need it. Look, if we run out of stuff, I'll go get it.
Yeah, okay.
If when you run out of some seafood or something, I'll go to the seafood place and go get it. It's not that hard, man. I've got time in the day to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically day to day. Everything needs to be done by the weekend, though. That's for sure. So the last deliveries are Fridays. I need to have everything prepared for the weekends. That's how busy.
Yeah.
There's no time on Saturday and Sunday because no one's bloody open on Saturday and Sunday, wholesalers and that sort of stuff. So everything's done by Friday, and we're prepared for a good weekend usually. Stocked up, so we don't really have too many problems after that. And if we run out of stuff, we run out of stuff.
Yeah, you're not too phased about how
I'm
often
not
would
too
that
phased
happen,
about
though?
it, man. Not very often.
Yeah, because you've done it for so long now. You know,
Yeah.
Tuesdays I need this much calamari, I need this, or whatever.
Yes and no. I mean, not this much calamari on that day. So I don't know how much I'm going to sell on each day, but in terms of how much calamari I should have for the week, a couple of boxes gets me through the week.
Yeah,
you know, and that's usually enough. So that's sort of where it's at with that.
Yeah. And that's something, maybe if you were newer, you'd probably over-order, wouldn't you? Do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, just so you learn
you learn it
the
that
volumes.
Way,
yeah.
Exactly right. And when you first start off, you don't want to be, you just started a place, I don't have that, sorry, today.
Yeah.
When you're one of those restaurants that's been there for a while, people just go, that's fine. Especially the regulars, man. I say, look, sorry, we don't have any moussaka today. We literally sold it out today. I'll have fresh stuff for tomorrow. And they go, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's no problem. And
you get that, mate. You go to KFC sometimes, like, oh, we don't have any chicken. You're like, you're fucking KFC. Like, what do you mean you don't have any chicken?
That's why I'm here, man. I want that zinger.
But it happens, right? Like it
happens. That's right.
Yeah. Because some days you just, that's right. Some days you go, oh, everybody want a calamari today. Well, I got heaps of meatballs if you want meatballs, but
we do meatballs. No, definitely like that. We just play it by ear, but usually we don't get too stuck, man. It maybe in a Sunday night, because Sunday nights are one of those nights when not a lot of places open as well, in my area anyway. So you get people going, oh, he's open because he's the only one bloody open.
Yeah.
We'll go in there and get them from here. And then all of a sudden you're busy, the place is full, and you're like, well, now we have a problem.
Yeah. I wasn't
expecting this many people to come on a Sunday night, and then you miss a few things here and there. But I've never really had too many problems with it.
Yeah.
People are pretty nice with it, man, to be honest.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
How do you, because obviously you work full time, you got the kids, M works full time, and you've got another place as well. How do you manage all of that? Have you just found your routine now?
Yeah, we got one.
You do the morning school run, you do the afternoon school run, M does the other stuff, then you go to the shop.
Yeah.
And then she looks after the kids. Like, you found that rhythm?
Yeah, we found it, man. It wasn't hard. Like, when M first decided to do the florist, I was like, how's this going to work now? Because you've got a full-time job. And you're obviously working hard there because you're always, I'm busy. I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden you've got to manage a florist, you know, and managing a florist with not a lot of knowledge about being a florist, man. Yeah. You know, none of us have done that. Em's always had it in the back of her mind. I feel like there's a little flowers, you know, and the opportunity came up. So she took it on. But I think it's funny because in the mornings we kind of know what we're doing because I'm like, M takes Cora, I'll take Calix, I'll get him ready. You get her ready. You take her to school. I'll take him to school.
Yeah.
And then she goes to work. I go do my stuff. And then when it comes to the afternoon time, Cora stays till... So I'll pick up Calix at 3. School finishes at 3.
Yeah.
I'll hang out with him for a while at home before I have to go get stuff. I'll take him back to the restaurant, usually, because Em won't finish till 5 some days. And so she'll go pick up Cora, because everything's right around us. School's up the road. Her school's up the road. The restaurant's up the road. The only thing is Em that has to every now and then
go to the city or whatever.
To somewhere. But she picks up Cora, comes back to the restaurant, picks up Cal, and then goes home.
Yeah.
So, and then it's a bit tough at night for her, to be fair, because the time that I have to be at the restaurant cooking is the crazy time.
It's gremlin time, bath time, dinner time.
It's insane. It's when it's bath time, man. They just flick a switch, I swear to God. Sometimes I'm like, I might cook that last meal just to avoid that last 10 minutes.
Em's
Get
got
home
it.
and just get the cuddles.
Yeah, get the easy bit.
Yeah, but she without Em's a big part of it.
Yeah.
She just makes things flow. She doesn't really say too much and just does it, and it makes it easier for me too. And that's why we probably flow so easily, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. So one thing you've kind of touched on it as well is like when you're running a restaurant or any business, when times are tough, you've obviously got to roll the sleeves up and get in there and get it done.
Yep.
For instance, like COVID, you probably have to put a lot of staff down, just you in the restaurant, or like, when the economy is a bit slower, it's almost like you've got to work more hours yourself because you need to save money on.
Well, that comes back to knowing how to do everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm able to do that because I know how to cook. So I can say to some of the people, I mean, the chef, look, have tonight off. From now on, I'm going to do Thursdays.
Yeah. I
want to save a little here. So I'm doing, it's funny because right now I've said I'm doing a Thursday. I don't work Thursdays. So I'm going to work a Thursday lunch. I have been for the last few weeks, and Sunday nights.
Yeah.
Because they're 2 times that I can easily save money, you know, and I'm still home at night time to see the kids, put them to bed and do all that sort of stuff. So it's not a big change for me.
Yeah.
And it saves, man. It saves, you know,
a couple of hundred every shift.
And you know what? And the wages just went up too.
Yeah.
So that couple of hundred, I've just wiped that off. It's off the wages, you know, because
plus super. Super's gone up.
Super's gone up. Electricity's gone up.
Yeah.
Mate, you name it, it's gone up.
It's all up.
It's just getting out of control,
the only thing it's not up is net profit.
That's right. That's
down,
gone the other way,
baby.
man. It was doing okay, and now it's gone back down again. But that's part of the business. Like, if you can't take the good and the bad, if you don't go into business and say, I'm going to have bad days and I'm going to have good days, then what are you doing? You need to understand that you're going to have the good days and it's going to be beautiful. Oh, look at the money, it's okay. But there's those days and there's those weeks where it's just like, what is happening?
Oh yeah,
and it's heavy, man. Like you got to use your own funds. Like it's all one thing. You got to help the restaurant, which is looking after you, because that's my wage as well. So it's a big circle, right?
Yeah.
So it's been like that now for last year. We were doing fantastically a year and a half ago when everyone was flying. Inflation was, you know. But now it's I got to balance it out. We're still got people in. We're still booked the Fridays, Saturdays, but it's not the same. Man.
No, it's not. Yeah.
You know that. It's not the same.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're in the business of, yours is a little bit different because it's food, but like I'm a luxury item.
Yeah.
Like a boutique gym is a luxury item. PT sessions, luxury item.
Yeah.
They're the first things to go. Food, everyone needs to eat, but people obviously eat at home as opposed to dining out and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, when times get tough, I think that's what everyone looks at when times are good, and you're like, oh, I can just take the day off when I want and I got money coming in and everything's hunky-dory. Like, that's the pros of running a business.
That is, yeah.
But you've also got to deal with the dog times of, I got to put 20K from my own money back into the business because blah, 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 blah. Or I'm going to work every single day, all day, because I can't afford wages. Or
yeah, that's right. And it sucks, man, because I've got a small family. And I know that Calix knows Dad's home on Thursdays. Dad's home on Sunday nights. Dad's home on Mondays. Mondays we're closed, so Monday doesn't change. And Thursday doesn't change. I'm only doing lunch. So I'm home at night. He's at school
anyway.
So it doesn't matter. So that was an easy one. But Sunday nights, a couple of hours, you out the back
family
and we
day.
kick the ball and do stuff. And he misses that a little bit now. But I explained it to him. I said, look, mate, just for a little while, just while it's cold, Dad's going to pick up a few shifts and whatever. But they come into the restaurant and eat dinner most of the times that I'm working anyway.
Yeah.
On those days.
You just cook them.
Just cook them dinner and I hang out with them. They go home and do the shower part.
Yeah.
The crazy part.
Yeah.
And I rock up home.
Everything's A-okay.
Well, keep it like this.
Is there anything else? So obviously, the big one for you in particular would be doing more shifts, and then obviously needing to put money. You need to put money in. Is there other things that you do, like when times are tough, to minimize the damage?
Well, not really.
That's all you can really do.
All you can really do is just you got to control a lot of stock even more. So I just tighten on everything. Like, for instance, right now I've changed the menu. So I have a big menu. And for instance, the wines, what I was saying before, I've cut off 3 wines.
Yeah.
Taken them off because it's not because they weren't selling or this and that. It's because I have to have that stock there.
Yeah.
The other ones sell just as much as those, but I've decided to just minimize that so that when I get that invoice, it's like, okay, that's a bit easier to control. And I'm turning this over still pretty quickly because it's a very popular wine. So that's what I try to do, is just really tighten the screws on wherever I can without... I don't want the staff to feel like, oh, you're losing shifts.
Penny pinching. Yeah.
I talk to them openly. I say, look, it's tough. It's shitty at the moment. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to do a little bit, just look after it. They understand. It's okay. Because they're feeling the pinch too, man. So they want the money as well. We're all suffering.
Everyone's poor.
Everyone.
Except for the rich.
The gap is just like this.
There's no middle class anymore.
No, it's all changed, hasn't it? But yeah, just tighten it up, man. That's all. That's all I do.
Yeah. Cool. What about stress? Do you find Like when times are tough, like do you get stressed much, and if you do, like how do you manage with that?
Well, I've never really gotten too stressed, to be fair. I think the only real time I kind of got stressed was just lately when Em decided that let's get a florist.
Yeah, let's go another business, babe.
Let's put more stress, which isn't on us already. I understand that the business needs to go up and down, so it kind of doesn't stress me out too much because it can change day by day. You have a shitty Thursday, and then Friday's booked out, and it's like, what happened? And it's like, okay, it's okay.
Everyone from Thursday just came Friday instead. Yeah.
But with the florist now, for instance, we've put the money that we had into that now. So, and it's tight for everyone at the moment too. So with the business and with that, we've just given all the money there, and we're going to try to just build it up, work them up slowly because it's not ticking over as it used to. Like
the shop, you mean?
Well, the economy, man. Is what and it makes it tough, man. There's no doubt about it.
Oh yeah, everyone you speak to, or experts or whatever, there's a lot of talk of businesses, especially small businesses. A lot of going to be closing this financial year. There's going to be a lot more insolvencies, a lot more closed small businesses.
I think I saw a stat: 43% of businesses. I might have said it to you. 43% of small businesses didn't show a profit last financial.
Yeah.
So half the small businesses out there, mate, they're just paying the bills. And they're probably using their own money because when you, like I just said, you have to.
Yeah.
So it's tough for a lot of people out there. We're lucky. We have an established business and we've been there for years, and it helps.
Yeah.
If you're going to start a new business now, that's why I'm a little bit stressed.
Yeah, with the florist, yeah.
But having said that,
that's the same thing though. It's established.
It's been there for 20 years.
Yeah.
Problem is, it's just a little bit dated because the lady who used to own it, she's an older lady. She wants to retire and she wants to move on and have fun with the grandkids or whatever the case is. But everything's just, and we can see it now when you look into it. You're paying too much for this.
Yeah.
And they're not willing. My dad was like that too. Once you're stuck in the way, you don't want to change it.
Well, you're too busy. It's too like, it works, whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And the costs are too high. So we're starting to see some little changes and things, especially with couriers, with flowers, like compared to what it is now, we're saving a lot with that. And a big one, social media, man. Like, she hasn't, in the older generation, doesn't get on social media, has no Instagram, no websites, none of that sort of stuff really. So Em saw that opportunity, and I agree. And putting some time into that, building that up, and getting it out to people, it's already made a huge difference, man. Like, social media is huge, and lucky I have Em.
Yeah, you don't know shit about social media.
And I'm useless at that crap.
Yeah,
I just like stuff.
Just scroll.
That's all I do, just to stay involved.
Yeah. We'll touch on the florist. I do want to explore that more later.
Yeah.
So
we'll
pencil. Yeah. So obviously your restaurant's been open for 24 years. What's the secret?
Family run.
Yeah.
Not trying to make things too difficult for people. Just making it easy for people to come in. Know this, know that. Just have it easy, man. I think that's the easiest thing to do is just don't make it too hard. And having the family there helps a lot, man, because they help you out. If I was doing this as a manager at another restaurant, I don't think I'd be putting as much effort in.
Well, you don't own it. There's no blood in the game. Yeah.
So being an owner and having the family, it's a big part of it that I want to keep it going for Dad. Obviously Dad passed and he always said continue the business. And I made that decision real early too.
Yeah, but you don't have to. You could go do something else.
Oh yeah, but I made that decision early. I said, I think I want to do this.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I like to be my own boss and be in control of things.
Yeah. What's how do you create that family atmosphere? Because you go to your restaurant and it feels like someone's yaya just made you a big feed.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's comfortable, it's chill, it's like the big dishes. Like how do you...
Well, you tell me.
I don't know. You created it.
I know, but that's what it is. I think it's just being more involved. Being the owners in the restaurant, being involved, talking to people, just making yourself available. Even, how my mum is.
Yeah.
She comes in the
queen of networking and socializing.
She's out there jibber jabbering to the people. They love it, man.
It's like my mum.
A little bit of care. And that's what people need. just to come back, I think.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of care. You go into these big places and it's like sitting there and here's your sitting there. It's all perfect and lovely. And there's just no hospitality.
Yeah.
Not family is a word.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you come out, say hello to people. Like if I come, you come say hello to me and stuff. But I see you do it with other regulars and things like that. And I think people, you're right. People appreciate that.
There's a connection. And
they go, the head chef came out and spoke to me and, said this and said that.
And
he has a kid now.
And the owner.
Yeah.
They like to be able to talk to the owner as well and be a little bit more involved.
They feel included.
Yeah. Like I'll see people at the front door and I'll see them walking up and I'll just give them a big wave from the kitchen. And I'll just go 2. And they go, yeah. I'll say, grab a seat.
Yeah.
And that's all they need to do.
Yeah.
Margie goes, yep, bum, 2. And they order straight away. That's what they want, man.
Yeah,
Stuff it around,
And it has that little bit of factor of, we'll go Chris, he has a family. Not the pity vote, but like they come to you because you're a family-owned business.
Yeah.
As opposed to like a mega corporation.
I think
like I can go to Macca's or I can go to the family-owned restaurant. We'll go help Chris out. Like in COVID and stuff, all your regulars continue to order from you for takeaways.
Yeah, man.
Because they want to help you. They love your restaurant.
That's right.
And if we don't order from him, he's fucked.
Yeah. I think people care.
We can afford it.
Care, mate.
They care, yeah.
And that's very important as well.
And that's probably, you're right. It's being there. It's talking to them. It's showing that.
You don't understand the importance of having those regulars because they come in once a week, every week.
Yeah.
And it made them $50. But
then they go and tell 20 friends.
Yeah, and they come in let's go to Chris's for a birthday. 20 people.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he knows what to do.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. It's things like that.
Yeah. That's
Absolutely.
right. Yeah, nice. So if someone's looking to open their own restaurant, any cuisine, what are some things you would say that you're like, right, before you even think about shopping for a lease or property, this is what you need?
You have some sort of business plan written out.
Yeah.
Even if it's not one you're going to hand to the bank and say, this is what I've got. You got to have an idea what you're doing. You got to know how much stock you think you're going to spend on. You got to know how much wages is going to cost you, how much your super is going to be, how much your bass is going to be. You need to have an idea how much it's going to be. Obviously, the bass trading is the way you figure that part out. But I think you just need it. I don't know what to tell you, man. Everyone's different, aren't they? I mean, if you have this real passion to do it, you can make it work. If you're just going to go into it half-assed and not really have any strategies in place to keep the business going, any funds, you need to have funds behind you because the bad days come. You have funds behind you as well. You need to have all that sort of stuff, man. In my opinion, we had it at the start when we started 7 years ago. It's all gone now. But,
yeah.
But the
Welcome
business
to
is
2024.
Business is trading now well enough to make it happy, make us happy at the back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously you need your plan. I think you need a clear direction of what you want. Like, you said it before, your dad was like, no, I want simple food. I want Greek island food. I want, setting what you want, your values. You want family run, family owned.
Yeah.
Obviously a bit of emergency funds to operate.
100%.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even when you're first starting out, it's very rare you go, oh, we're making a profit day one. You need that. You need the rent free, all that sort of shit. Yeah. What's some good attributes when you're looking for a property? Like you guys have moved locations a few times now.
Yep.
What are some must-haves? Like when
classic Greek one, man. Find a corner. Corners, busy roads, traffic.
Yeah.
You got to have a look into it, and even if it means going there before you even get into a place, go look at the area. Go there, have coffee at the shop down the road. Go there and just be around the area and see how the people are going through. Now, if people are coming, then it makes a huge difference. There's a cinema near me. That was a huge thing for us. Cinema.
You talk about Graceful? Yeah.
The Graceful cinema,
yeah.
It's busy all the time with the older people, and they go, let's go for a coffee.
That's right.
Up the road. And obviously there's coffee shops all over the bloody place on our avenue. So I'm not specializing in coffee. I offer that. But they're coming for coffee. So, now it's a Greek restaurant there as well. We can do that. But it has a lot to do with what you're looking at in front of you, man. It has to be busy. You need to see cars going past. You need to see people walking
for
past.
Traffic, yeah.
You can't be in a little side street and just rely on the social media because it won't do it, man. Some places are like that.
Yeah.
Because they're that special little place.
Yeah, if you're an award-winning chef or you're
Things like
some
that. I
very
can understand
unique
that.
dish or something. Yeah.
But for us that are just opening a little business and want to try and make some money and make a living, I think you need to have lots of foot traffic, lots of traffic moving past every day.
Yeah.
So you can be exposed. You can see everything that's happening in my eyes.
Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, that's probably the big one because everything else is a bit unique to each business, like your layout and your fit out and space and stuff like that. Like,
And we got going pretty quick where I am at Graceville because we'd already had established business as well. So prior to finishing off our lease in Mollison Street and deciding to make the move, we were telling the clients, like, look, people coming in, we're moving, we're going here, we're doing this months before, just so they knew and that they can make the effort to go there. It's funny because a lot of them actually live in that direction. It's really weird.
Yeah.
It's weird because they would have driven out from where we are to go to have at our restaurant in West End.
Yeah.
Which is weird, but most of them live over in this direction, which is, I just found it really weird. And they're coming more often now. Yeah.
It's a win.
It's a win, man. You got to keep those people, right?
Yeah.
The regulars.
Has there been a moment in all of your career or the restaurant that's like been a really nice, like, or big key memorable moment for you guys?
I don't know, man. I mean, when I first opened this one, it was a big thing for me personally because that's what my dream kind of was.
Because this one's like yours.
Yeah.
Like, whereas the other ones you sort of took over and your dad was running it beforehand and
Yeah,
stuff.
and Dad had Stone's Corner. So we had two at the same stage running.
Yeah.
And we decided we had to keep things as similar as we can because we didn't want to be too different. So if you go there and you get it a bit different than here, we didn't want that to be two separate restaurants.
Yeah. So like you literally wanted to be copy and paste.
Copy and paste, man.
Yeah.
Copy and paste. Small, tight, easy to control, things like that. But yeah, I mean, getting the restaurant open and that first Friday night that I was in there and just getting those first bookings, it was nice. It was a nice feeling.
You feel a little bit proud because you're like, this is mine.
You know,
I made this.
Yeah, and now you put all this bloody money into it because it's $100,000 to get the place going.
Yeah,
it's not cheap. So you get the place going, and then it's like, oh, here it is. Here we go. Let's make it happen. And you got there. You got there, and it's proud, and I'm very proud of it, man. I'm happy I kept it going for Dad as well.
Yeah.
For him because I remember going to. I used to go to Park Road with Dad like every morning.
Like Dolce Vita.
With the big Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
We knew all the guys there. And I remember looking up on the window and he had a sticker. And I can't remember what year it was, but he said, established in this. It was like 25 years old. And I was like, that's cool. This has been here for 20 years.
Yeah, they've been here for fucking ever.
And that was then.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was probably 10 years ago, man.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do that too. And when we hit that 20-year mark, we actually put something out to say 20 years in business.
Yeah.
And it was nice. It's nice to, people like what we're doing. That's it.
Yeah, well, 20 years is 5 years is a big deal. 20 is a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's all for Dad, man.
Yeah.
Wanted to keep him going for Dad and now for my family, and I get Cal in there soon.
Yeah. What's the legal age? Yeah.
It doesn't matter, man.
Yeah.
He's going to get in there whatever age.
He's going to learn some work ethic.
Okay, man. Here's the time to learn, boy.
Yeah. Do you think, because you had Stone's Corner and then obviously your dad passed and stuff, did you ever think about getting, like, say, Mama going to Stone's Corner and running that one? Or is it like you don't trust someone that's not family to run it? Like, what was your thought process?
Yes, bit of both. So Mama she doesn't do that.
Or
sort of
anyone,
stuff
let's just say, like,
she doesn't do that stuff in the first place. But no, it has to be the family running it. So Beck and Dad were there.
Yeah.
And they were doing the thing there. And they had Angie who
remember
Angie? She was a cook in the other restaurant. So when I decided to go do this and they wanted to open one there, Dad said, okay, you have Mama. She can help you in the kitchen. I can cook. I'm happy to do all the cooking. And at the start, I was doing 7 days a week, lunch and dinner for 2 or 3 years, I'd say. And then Dad can sort of sit back a little bit, not do so much of cooking, and Angie does the rest. But we always wanted to have one of us in there, man. It's something that Dad's instilled in me as well.
Yeah.
You need to be in your business, people to see you in your business.
Yeah, that too.
It's what it is.
But also nobody works, and you're never going to get it. Like, even if, like you said before, if we're just an employee, you're never going to work as hard as when you're an owner.
Yeah.
You'll do the extra steps. Like, you might be like go a few extra steps when you're an employee, but you'll never be the same as an owner.
No.
It's not the same.
You've invested so much money in it, man. And it's a big thing. Like, if I'm not doing this, then I don't know what else I'm doing. I have to rethink everything. But that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, touch wood, fingers crossed.
Touch wood, touch all the wood.
Touch everything.
Oh, headbutt wood. But yeah, no, it's good, man. I love it, to be honest, and I don't want to change what I'm doing either.
Yeah, nice. Cool. Let's shift to the florist.
I can tell you as much as I know.
Yeah.
Em does a lot of that stuff.
It's interesting because it's something that I've been talking to Dad. We've obviously had this conversation. I'm not from here, but the new sort of thing I think will become more and more popular. Like it's always been a thing, but I think it's getting more popular now is buying boomer businesses.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, the florist has been there for 20 years. People are in their 60s. They want to retire, grandkid, whatever. It's sick of working, like whatever it is. But they've got a lot of outdated models in place. So you come in, obviously it has to be semi-profitable or, doing okay
do due
anyway.
diligence.
Yeah, of course.
You've got to check all that before you do it. You've got to make sure there's money there and it can grow at least.
Yeah. And then you add the new, like the millennial Gen Z flair to it, like the new processes, social media, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So we kind of touched on it before. What are some of the things that you guys, I should get Em in for a different episode.
Yeah, you should actually. She'll tell you a bit more about it.
that that you can easy wins, like social media. I don't think they were doing that at all.
Huge.
Yeah.
None of that. And I can tell you right now, it's already made a difference.
Yeah.
Another thing that we noticed what she's doing is there's not a lot of, you know how you go to Coles and they have all these bloody flowers out front just ready to grab?
Yeah.
There's none of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
So what's going on here? So the little shop there had a few little things to buy, like just random stuff, a lot of books and stuff. And it's like, well, we're a florist.
Yeah.
So Em's already implemented that. She's cleaned up. We've cleaned up the front. We've taken a bit of it down. It's going to be a process. We just want to do it slowly. We don't want to scare people because we've taken over this lady's business and we just want to implement things slowly. You know what I mean? And not just make it a big change for people. But yeah, we got bunches of flowers out there now. So people, guys, you and me, man, you're not going to walk into a florist and say, oh, can I get some flowers? Can I get some lilies and some this and that? No, we want something in front of us.
Show me the bouquet. Show me the price. I'll see which one looks pretty and I'll grab it.
Can you put a bow on this?
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's something that wasn't there.
Yeah.
And so Em's brought that in as well already. And I think that's making a significant difference. And again, just
changing the courier distance. Like you guys are delivering too far away.
Too far away, change the actual courier.
Yeah. Cost. Yeah.
Ordering flowers. Like she had a way of doing it, same place, every week. They charge this much.
Like wholesaler. Yeah.
We've looked into that. Or Em's looked into that, sorry. And she saw someone else straight away that's for the same thing as nice, cheaper.
Yeah.
It might be $100, but if it's $100 a week and you're doing that every month, that's the rent paid for the month.
Yeah.
You're saving $100 a day. It's $1,600, let's say.
Yeah.
You're saving that already, man. That's huge. There's little differences that you can do. And also it's a small shop, so it's not big. It's not big. It's probably, man, add a bit more on here, and that's what it is.
You don't need much room, right?
You don't, because we're doing a lot of couriers, but we do want to bring in more foot traffic because there's not enough of that.
You're in a shopping center, right?
In a shopping center, and Coles is here, and we're sort of a few shops this way, so people just go to Coles, grab those bloody flowers, and do it. So that's why we did that straight away. Get the flowers out there for people to grab. Make a difference. It needs to be zhuzhed up, as they say. Yeah, a little bit of paint, a little bit of. It needs to be white. Like when you think of florist, you think of bright colors
because the flowers pop against the walls.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the color at the place at the moment, it's a bit of a dull color. I'm sure the lady who had it was happy with that, and that's what she wanted to do. But yeah, little things like that, man. There's little things everywhere that we're looking, all different little bits that we can change. And Em's doing really well with that, man. We're looking to get a new florist in, a lady who's just finished her a TAFE course, I think. Yeah. But she's up to date with the modern trends of
floristry,
whatever you call it. So that's something that we're bringing in, and that might help as well. Just things like that. And like I said, it only has to be $100 a week, $200 a week to make a huge change, and it's a big difference for us too.
Well, that's right, because the overheads aren't going to be what it is running a restaurant. Like the rent is probably a tenth because the size is different.
Well, rents are stupid anyway, mate. People pay too much for rent.
Oh yeah. And staff, like maybe one staff at a time, and then the courier. Exactly. So overheads are a lot lower.
Yeah, so it's controlled. The start that we have two staff. she'll do this many shifts a week. She'll do this many shifts a week. You start here, you finish there. There's no ifs and buts. Courier comes at this time during the day. Your dad, hopefully, finishes this time of day, gets them all done.
Yeah.
You got 3 hours to get them all dropped, which is more than enough time. It's always been enough time previously when she's had her place, so it should be easy to do.
Yeah.
And that's it. You control it. It doesn't fluctuate like restaurants. No. You might need staff to stay longer or need staff to come in, or it's busy to keep the place open and those things change.
Just maybe on, your big days like Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, you might have to do 2 staff.
2 staff.
To prepare for the days.
Keeping the kitchen open longer, the gas is on a bit longer. It's not a big thing, but it's something. These things don't necessarily have to happen with the florist.
Yeah.
You have it all, it's all done every day, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And Em's done a little bit of extra stuff herself too, so she picks up flowers and drops them off if she has to, just to save.
Yeah, of course, every little bit. Yeah, something, we can obviously chat more about this later, but like mailing lists, all that sort of stuff, like getting EDM sent out. And I bet you none of that's been done. There's probably no database.
None of that's been done, man. Yeah. And Em's we've already talked about that. I said to her, like, what is your main things? You got funerals?
Yeah.
And you got
anniversaries,
Mother's Day, those big
Valentine's
things.
Day.
So those are the things you need to.
You have promos ready.
Weddings.
Yeah.
Take your cards, take whatever, just go give it to them. Say, look, I'm the new owner. This is for you. I'm happy to make a nice price and this and that. Just compete with other people a little bit too. Don't let them have it easy. So those are things we're going to do as well. We're going to be signing up with a new floristry. whatever that word is. Yeah. And you got to have a little membership with them, and they give you stuff as well for people. You arrange it all and make the money for it and stuff like that. So yeah, little things, man. Yeah, little things. There's lots of them though. They're really.
That's right. All the little things add $50, but if you add 10 of them together, that's $500 a week. And then all of a sudden,
the foot traffic just into the restaurant, there wasn't a lot there. So a lot of the stuff is just courier stuff.
Yeah.
If you just get one guy coming in and buying $40 worth, a nice bunch of flowers for his wife with $40 a day, mate. That's an hour's wage sorted. It's huge, man. It's the wage of one of the people for the week.
Yeah.
It's just the boomer thing is a real thing. If you want to go in it, you got to work hard. You got to get into it. You get stuck, and you can't just take it over and do what's happening. You got to make changes, implement changes.
And you got to know what you're doing as well.
You got to know. We're a little bit know what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, no, but like you run, and your mum have run the shop's books forever. Yeah. Em's been a business banker for ages, so she sees hundreds of P&Ls. Like you guys know what books look like.
And that was a big part of it, man. Big part of it. She knows how to read those things correctly and see what's happening. That's her job basically. So, and that's how it all started. And it happened quick. She threw it at me. It happened quick, man. I was going on. I was happy at the restaurant. Everyone was nice, and then all of a sudden, there's a flower. Look at this florist. It's available, and she's selling it. She had it up there for quite a high price at the time.
The sale price.
So we had to negotiate. I think when you have something for that long, it's not so much of what the P&Ls look like and what you can actually sell it for. It's like, no, I've been here for 20, 30 years. I should probably get this.
I want this. Yeah.
It's like, well, it's not the same. And there's a huge gap between that. And we were the same when we made that change from the restaurant we had a lease there that we hadn't finished, and we were going to move over to Melbourne Street, like I was saying to you. And the guy was going to come in and buy it. And we wanted to sell the lease to him and whatever. And that got stopped as well because it just wasn't fair. Like, we wanted too much because we've been here for so long and this and that. So,
there's always a disconnect between
there is
in anything, like anything selling, real value versus like the value that you want.
Yeah. And
that's something, because Dad and I have been looking, there's been a few companies and one of them, I can't remember the figures, but just way too much, like $500,000, $1 million too much. This is big concrete. They make the concrete trucks and mixing trucks and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was really interesting. But he wanted way, way more. And he's like, well, it's worth this and this and this and this. And I was like, no, look at the books. Like the EBITDA doesn't lie. Like, but
that wasn't around 20 years ago though, man. When someone went to sell a business, it felt like I make this much, and this is how it's going to happen. Give it to me. But now it's very much
a lot of goodwill, like
there was
gratuity, like, oh, you're only making $500,000, but it's probably worth 700 because we'll add on goodwill.
That's why the banks probably got tougher.
Yeah,
because they've gone lending out.
Also, the economy is not exactly flourishing right now as well. Yeah, that could be another episode. How many times have you cried this week? Do you think once, obviously it'll be whatever, a few months before the florist sort of settles down and you've found that rhythm and the new processes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's say you make a bit of money from that and the shop starts going better. Would you look at other businesses, or do you think like you're at your limit now?
We're not at a limit, but this came out of nowhere. For me, Em may have had this in the background.
She's been planning.
Years, But for me, it came out of nowhere. So that to say that it won't happen again,
who knows?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Right now, no, because we've put a lot of money back into this now.
Yeah.
And we're just going to rock with these two. I think, our plan when was never to buy businesses, man. At any stage was it never to buy businesses.
Yeah.
It's just happened.
Of course,
The opportunity is there, and we understand it's a risk. We know it's a risk. We two young little ones. They're both bloody school, and I got a restaurant, and there's a lot we're looking after. So I understand it's a risk, and it's make or break. But if you don't take a chance, I suppose you don't really know, do you, man?
Yeah, there's two kinds of people. We're the kind of people that take risks because we know the rewards.
Yeah,
we also know the consequences, but we're willing to
give
back ourselves enough.
Give it a go.
Yeah. And then there's people that are just like, no thanks.
I would have been happy just to sit at the restaurant, man, and just work. Work
the
restaurant, have it making.
Cruise control.
Everyone was M comes in.
Surprise.
Here you go.
All you need now is another baby. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, man, imagine there was another baby. Jesus, man. I don't know what I would do.
It's worse than a shop.
Buy another business.
Yeah.
3 babies, 3 businesses.
Each baby's got to have its own business to take over.
That's right. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this.
All right. We're into our final 3 questions.
Yeah.
Same questions for everyone. So first one, we kind of touched on it before, but like what's been a highlight of your career so far? Would you say it would be opening?
Yeah. I'd say so, man. I'd say so. I feel like that was a big part. It was a nice relief when it all got done, when the place was ready. I just went, I said, here we go.
Yeah.
And it was good. And that was at the start of our life because we got married just before that, and the little Callie came not long after that. So it started our family together too. So it's always I'm always going to remember it as
it'd be
for me,
extra special as well.
Yeah. It's always there.
What's one piece of advice that's been given to you in any part of life that's really stuck with you?
Yeah, well, I said it my dad, man. He said, you have to be in the business. You have to know everything about the business. You have to understand everything because anything could change. You need to know what to do.
Yeah.
You need to be able to fill the void if something happens. And I did touch on that before.
Yeah.
But that's a big part, man.
No, it's solid.
Yeah. It's Dad's always, he said it to me ages ago, and that I agree with it. And family. You need to have your family around you a little bit. Be strong together, in a way. Dad's always been like that. He's old school Greek.
Yeah, that's Greek. That's for sure. Big Greek family.
I'll pass it on.
Yeah.
That's how it happens.
Yeah. And then last one, you kind of answered it before, but like, what's in the future for Mr. Papadopoulos?
A lot of work. It's already started.
Yeah.
A lot of work. Just growing the business and now growing the flower shop is my priorities. Making sure the little ones have a comfortable little childhood. I had a great childhood with Mum. I had a great time. And I want to do that for the kids. I don't want to be stuck at work and doing that stuff all the time. But I think we have to work hard now for 3 to 5 years for it to be smoother and live happily.
Yeah.
I think. For me,
nice. Sweet.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for coming in. I appreciate hearing your story.
It's all right, man.
Pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
Fun. It's hot.
Yeah, we've got the heater on.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm sweating bullets, bro.
Well, it was freezing, and I was like, now that we've got the hoodies on,
God.
it's on 24, nice balmy 24.
2400, man. I'm going to die. Can't wait to get outside.
But, thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate it.
It's been good, man.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you.